Hello, greetings. Payman here, your host of the Read Aloud podcast. Today, I have the pleasure and honor of having one of my dearest friend that I get the pleasure of connecting with on the podcast almost 2 years ago. How did you connect again? I forgot, but we'll probably kind of come back. And this is my dear friend, Cornelia Helga Schulze from Berlin, Germany. She did so far, and I've been blessed to have had over 324 episodes of my podcast in over 3.5 years. But I will say the episode I did with her just around Christmas 2021 is so far my personal favorite because that was about she did a live past life reading on me, and I must have watched it a good dozen of times. I downloaded it, I listened to it every 6 months because I learned so much. And yeah, and we had a few conversations since then, but now she wanted to come back because she is going to talk about something even more exciting with us. So before even going to that, Cornelia, my wonderful friend, welcome back to the show.
Hello, and thank you for having me again. Yeah, I'm so excited too.
I'm so excited, and I just can't hide
Yes,
it. I'm gonna
it's
lose
always
control.
it's always such a pleasure with you
Thank
and
you, thank
such
you,
a
thank you,
vital energy and such. It's really extraordinary talking
thank you,
to
thank
you.
you, thank you. I appreciate it. First of all, before we start, how are you doing today?
I'm really good. Thank you so much.
Very welcome. Now, for people that don't know you, give us a brief introduction about you. Who's Cornelia as a person, as a human being, and as a woman? We're gonna talk about the business and everything after, but as a person, who's Cornelia?
Well, I'm trying to find my way, my soul plan. And if you would meet me in a cafe, I would be one of the many. Yeah. And when we get to know each other a little bit better, then you would learn that I'm a highly spiritual person, that I'm a psychic medium, and my life is really built on that since I found out. And but when I'm not connected to my guides, and so I'm completely normal, so to say. So I can ride on the bus as everyone without having impressions of dozens of other souls or energy input and download. And so yeah, so I live in Berlin. I'm born here. I have been away for some time, but I always came back, and it's really nice to go away, but it's also nice to come back to Berlin. Yeah, Berlin
Right.
is very, very alive and very exciting, as long as you're not born here, because then you see it's dirty and it's ugly and people are so unfriendly and
Oh,
it's
really?
really,
Okay.
and we don't have any money, so the government doesn't have so much money, and oh my god, yeah, but that's just other side. And so
Oh, wow. Okay.
I'm really deeply connected to Berlin, and
Mm.
not much as a patriot, but there's something that, yeah,
Energy.
yeah, there's something I have to do here. So,
Awesome. So tell us, what do you do? What is your business? What is your impact in this lifetime?
so my impact in this lifetime is helping people to get rid of some problems or hidden blocks they cannot see, that are based on mostly past lives or somewhere on their souls. The energy field we have. So we store good memories there, but we also still store the things we left there as a bookmark, so to say. Yeah, some where you were not happy with the outcome, possibly from a past life or from your childhood or so, and then you say, "I'm not happy with the outcome. I'm gonna look at this another time and fix it." So, and this is how people drag things from 1,000 years ago into this life here. So, and
Yeah.
then this is something um, not even any psychic or medium can see. They not everyone has access to that, and I do. I found out with a colleague of mine that I have access to almost everything besides precise future. So yeah, I cannot tell you the date, yeah, but I can tell you something. Um, as you know, and I say then it's summer or maybe next year or so. And I know some people who can really say, okay, in the next 6 months there will be this and that, and then you just wait. But this is only for 6 months, so yeah, they cannot tell you if you will ever meet that one soul you want to connect with.
Beautiful. So, how challenging and how fun at the same time is it to be not only spiritual but also hypnotherapist in Germany of all places?
Yes. Oh, it's very challenging, especially here in Berlin.
But isn't Berlin
n-
to be known like a place is more spiritual than other place in Germany?
Not at all. No,
Really? Okay.
it's more on the contrary. So,
Okay.
yeah, and that's the thing. So, um, I would say most of the German or German-born people, they are not really open to spiritual things because I really looked into that
Mm,
because that sometimes really made me clueless how to pitch my offer, yeah, so to say. Yeah? And this is because of all these war traumas we had. So believing in spirits, also in church, Jesus, or um, other religions, that um, is only when you believe in some kind of ideology. And we do not want to believe in any ideology anymore since World War II. So there's really a huge distance to that, to giving in to something like that, where you only have to believe. And
mm,
interestingly, there are people who are expats who live on their own decision in Berlin. Yeah,
yeah.
people from all around the world. My most clients are from are those, yeah, expats or tourists. So
Mm.
once they're, or not once, but sometimes people come from Denmark or from France, and when they are on a holiday here, and then they want an appointment with me because they cannot find someone similar there. And
Wow.
this is really interesting. Yeah, so it is challenging, and then it's also challenging when I have to tell people something that they don't want to hear.
Mm.
So
How do
I
you
have
tell
to
them?
be very diplomatic, and then you see, yeah, this what you see in that guy or so. This is based on childhood experience, and this is not really comfortable. Yeah. So in other words, other people would say you have to see a shrink. Yeah. So and and then there people tend everyone tends to appreciate the things that are uh, that you agree on, yeah, that are good for you, that you want to hear, and not the bare naked truth.
Mm,
So yeah, but in the end it's interesting, and I can, yeah, funny in some way what happens to me, yeah, but it's so interesting what uh crazy ways a soul goes,
mm,
and it's never the direct easy way. Yeah, we go like this. And then And then we think, yeah, okay, how can I believe in my soul's plan if that is such a stress, and when will that ever end? You know?
Speaking of that, how does one find out about what is the soul plan in this lifetime?
Yeah, the best thing is that you
To book
go
an
and
appointment with
ask
you?
someone. Yeah, you don't get the whole book of life. It's not
Mm.
that you can buy it somewhere, or when you have a reading with some. Yeah, it would be so nice.
Go to the store, go to
Would
or
read
go on
the
Amazon.
last page first. Yes.
$20 and bam, done, you know?
So um, you always find, including myself, only out some parts of it. Yeah, and then I have readings with other psychics on that. I cannot really tap into my own soul's plan. Yeah, for some things, yes, but for many things, not, because then I lack the distance, but I have this distance and objective point of view on other people's soul plans. So um, that's the easy part for me to see something. And so you need someone who knows to read that Akashic record. That's the other word for it,
Mm.
and then you will get some milestones maybe. Yeah, and but when you ask me, then I'm also very good in explaining what in the past had been this way it was, because sometimes you're really unhappy with that, and then I can see, okay, but this was meant like that. And so you can get some peace out of your experiences finally, and have another possibility to look on your
Mm.
future plan. So
Quick
yeah, you
question.
need help. I need help for that too. So,
Quick question. Is there a difference, or what is the difference between a past life reading and an Akashic reading?
um, yeah, that's not so much of a difference, but in past life, then um, it's really to your it really goes to your human incarnation mostly.
Mm.
Yeah, and when you look on the Akashic record, then you can also um, find out that there had been some other incarnations, maybe when if your soul is born on a star, so to say. Yeah, this is called star seed for some time now, and this is also a past life, but it's different. So yeah, in the end, this is almost the same, but many people do not know what the Akashic record is, so they tend to go with past lives. It's easier to understand, and yeah,
So you
and
say,
it is possible for some psychics who have this ability of prophecy. This is called, yeah, to look in the future, but there are really only a few of them. Yeah, so and that would be then a full Akashic record
so
reading.
which one is the most popular and the most efficient for people to do? Is it an Akashic reading or is it a past life reading?
It depends on your needs, really.
Mm.
So, me too. I'm very, very much interested in my future. Yeah, but as it's so difficult to find someone who is clear on that, and uh, um, when you go then with a normal reading without, yeah, Akashic or past life, then that would be the my choice, so to say. Yeah, of course, if you are interested in a past life or so, then it would be good that the psychic you visit will be able to do so. Yeah,
You
not
said,
everyone is also able to look in the past lives. So this is so interesting what psychics and psychic mediums can do, and to what percentage we are clairvoyant or
mm,
clairaudient or empath and have this intuition or have this prophecy, or we are energy channels. And so, and I don't know anyone who's only one of it. Yeah, but then I am mostly clairaudient and intuitive, but I can also see. So, but there's a different percentage to one of my dearest colleagues or so. And then they say, yeah, I see you doing this and that.
oh,
And then I see, oh, that is difficult. Yeah, only to mostly get pictures. So
wow.
then you have to explain it. And I get text, I get speech messages. Yeah, so what you want to say, and this is much easier. And there had been a long time I doubted if that was good enough what I can
Mm,
do. And then I learned in training groups and workshops so how others do that, and that this having the sight, what we call when people claim they see it, yeah, and then they really get images. And so I thought this must be the better thing, but then I found out for myself this is much more difficult. And I was so happy with my speech messages. Yes. And so there you cannot really say that something is better. It depends on your needs. And
mm,
I can always say, yeah, when you see someone's profile on the internet, then do a little research or maybe ask, can you do that? And then follow your intuition. Do you like that person? Do you trust that or not? Yeah. So the wall with the diplomas may not help you when you do not really like or trust that person. That's
totally.
it.
Yeah, wow. So many questions came to mind as we're talking. I don't know which one to ask first, but so you mentioned depends on what the person want, whether they want an Akashic reading, a past life reading, or a regular reading. So what do you mean by a regular reading? Is that just energy reading? What is it?
So with me, I can see your energy field if you want it and check it. If there's
Mm,
something in it, then I see colors or, yeah, sometimes objects that do not belong there. Um, but a reading with me would be like I ask your energy field and your helpers. So we
mm,
have angels and the guides and maybe some of the ancestors helping you.
mm,
And so I have access to the whole, yeah, the whole of,
yeah.
and the entire um, stock of information. And then you can ask any question. Yeah. So, what is in my body? What's wrong with my body? I have symptoms like that, or I cannot stand my new neighbor. It's just something um, in between us on a different level, which cannot be explained by, yeah, characteristics or what you psychology, something like that. Or then they ask, yeah, what with my profession, I don't want to work in that job anymore, and I have in mind something like that. Is that the real thing for me? Then I can tap into that and tell you, yeah, in general, but or yes, of course, go for it. Yeah. Or relationships, of course, yeah, there's something weird. What is it? Is that uh, some childhood trauma, or does that person cheat on me? And so, yeah, so, or do we know each other from from a past life, or do we have a contract to start um, what would then in the next incarnation be a past life connection? So something like that. Yeah, or does not necessarily have to be something with a partner or parents or so. I know my mother, this is the eighth life we have together,
Wow.
and one is more complicated than the other. So,
So
yeah.
when looking at things, one thing that I understood through my awakening is nothing happens to us but for us. Before my awakening, when something bad happened to me, I used to ask disempowering questions such as, why me? What did I do to deserve this? Why? And complain like a little
Mhm.
bee. And when I complain like a little bee, nothing good comes out of it. And then I understood something that changed my life, and that is understanding the tremendous power of questions and asking the right question. So then I started asking a more empowering question, such as, what is this trying to teach me? What is a lesson for me to learn to that? And that
Yeah.
applies to everything in life. So you, Cornelia, when you look at, you said you've had 8 lives so far with your mother, each more challenging than the other. So now, if you look at all of those 8 lives together that you had with your mother, what is she trying to teach you? What is the lesson for you to learn through all of these interactions, all of these lives, and each time being more challenging?
So the way you approach this is totally right from my point of view. Yeah,
Mhm.
just yeah, it's what do we learn out of it? And
Life is
it's
a
not
school.
yeah, and it's not that someone else decided for us, yeah, and say, yeah, payment has to suffer now. So yeah, it feels like it, yes. Yeah. But in the end, it's our own choice. And so all of these relationships um, with my mother were about teaching me to find my true value in life. So to find out what my real powers and my real um, you know place in the world is, how powerful I am. And so I decided to find someone who challenges me with that. Yeah. So that I have to look into myself and find out, yeah, why do I feel um, unsure and small and
Mhm.
everything, and learn how to heal it when that comes from the outside. So, and I was, yeah, we had some nicer lives together, but most of them they were really challenging. Yeah, just find out how huge you are as a soul and how powerful you are with these energies. Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful. So, do you think that this is a last lifetime you'll have with your mother that you learned the lesson? Or are you guys going to be back at it for another few rounds in the future?
Yeah, it is indeed the last time.
Are you sure?
And yes, I am. I'm really sure. I double checked that with someone else, and
Okay.
then we always have the possibility to end this. Yeah, to
Contract.
really to somehow change our plans. Yeah, when you realize, okay, I learned my lesson now. It's 8 times over centuries, and so and I got it now. And when it's clear that you understood why you were together, then and when you really trust in it, you can claim these powers to change your soul's plan, and you can say, okay, I decide um, to close this connection. Yeah, everything is done. There's nothing more to do, and we close it and be in peace together. So
Beautiful. Did you talk to your mother about that? Did you share with her that you and her have had multiple lifetimes? And how was her reaction? Did she tell you, "What are you talking? What are you smoking? Are you going crazy?" Or is she understanding of that? Or is she open to that?
so my mother I told her once, and then she did not believe me at all. And she does not want to do anything with that. Yeah. So she is a highly spiritual person. She has tons of energy. This is really astounding. But she's denying that has to do with spirituality because she's a really convinced Catholic person. So this cannot be that you have more powers than possibly Jesus or God or so. and then
Wow.
and then discussion is closed. Yeah.
999. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. This happens. Yeah. And sometimes when I had clients where we found out that we had a life together. It
With a
was so
client.
interesting. Yeah, with
Wow.
and not only one. Yeah. So when years ago when I did Reiki energy healing or so, then one woman, she stood up from that bench and then she said to me, did you know that we had a life together? And then she explained with me because she had all the pictures and the memories while lying there. And then I thought, so I do not remember, but in my heart and in my energy field, I can confirm. Yeah, that was a clear yes, and we were lovers. Yeah, so, and then I never saw her again. Yeah, so it was, that can happen. Yeah, and sometimes you are good with people you know from former times, and sometimes you're not, and that's then the interesting part. Yeah.
Beautiful. Beautiful. A question came to mind. I forgot. But oh wow. That's interesting. Oh, remember when you did my reading way back in around Christmas 2021? You said one thing, you said many things about me that blew my mind. But one thing that really jolted me, you said I had a past life and the 17, 18, 16, 17th century and Spain. And I was one of those from the bourgeois. And you said that
Hmm.
one of my best friend that we've did many campaigns together, actually my best friend, he stabbed me and killed me. And when I asked you why he killed me, you said because he wanted my wife, and the only way to get together was to kill me. And then right away, the first question I asked you is this person right now currently in my life in this lifetime? And you said no. So I want to talk more about those past lives entanglements that or contracts you may have with other people and so on and so forth. I understand that, for example, in this life, some people that you dealt with in the previous life are not here and they will come in the next life and so on and so forth. So talk about that. And first of all, tell me again, once again, if that person is currently here, and if yes, tell me who that is. I can go after that.
There were some complications in Italy too.
Yes, you told me
I
that.
get I as this is a channeling, I cannot say I remember. Yeah, but when you bring that up now, then I can feel it. Yeah. So no, it's still that that friend from that incarnation in Spain is not around and it will not come. They you know, when you have these contracts, then usually when you finish your life, yeah, the soul leaves the body to go to the
Source.
nirvana,
Yeah,
wherever,
source.
yeah, divine level. Then the plan is that everything is closed, yeah, case closed. And sometimes we decide, no, I'm not happy with that, yeah, or I'm so happy I want to have this again. So this is somehow against the rules. It's very human-like, so to say, yeah. Um, and then you can pull or drag these events or sometimes the connections into another life or even into today. Um, but it's necessary that the other one, the significant other, whoever that may be, yeah, brother, friend, spouse, or so, has the same plan. So if they decide, but I am happy with that, I'm not going to meet you again. Yeah, because for me, that's done. Yeah. Um, then they will not come with you. But if that still bothers you, then you can work on your own to find closure. But it's not necessary that people really come with you. That is really an agreement, sort of a soul contract that you meet again. And so, um, and the other thing is, we don't have to recognize them. They can be somewhere on the other edge of the planet, so to say, and you never
Someone
knew.
that I don't know in this lifetime, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. Um, um, and yeah, you never meet, and sometimes then you learn your lesson before you meet
Ah.
again, and then it's possible that you meet and you do not realize, okay, that was the one who stabbed me in the back. Or something.
Speaking of that, I understand that the soul wants to experience everything, like the good, the bad, being successful, rich, and being poor, and being destitute, being handicapped, queen, beggar, all of that. But
Yeah.
then what would be the lesson to learn if you have your best friend stabbing you to death? Looking at it from a spiritual perspective.
Yeah. So your soul then decided to experience betrayal, so to say, and being the victim of murder. And then you, like an auction, were asking around who would be my partner in this. Yeah. So, and then someone, and we're all on the same energy level. It's a very high level. And then someone say, yeah, yeah, I feel intrigued, and I agree in lowering my energy to become your killer.
So do you
So
ask anyone, any soul in particular, or from my reading that I've done, we all have soul family, soul groups. So do you ask someone from your soul family, and then in one life you may be the one being killed, and then the other life you may be the one killing the person to balance the karma.
yeah, for karma is a really long discussion. We can talk
'Cause I don't
some
want to
weeks
kill
on that.
anyone. I don't want to kill anyone, you
Yeah,
know?
but so it you really ask around, and then it's maybe
Mm,
someone from your soul family, yeah,
mm,
but it can be someone around. Yeah, it's
mm,
like you would post a job offer on the internet, and then you will see, and then you find your agreement. And I'm pretty sure that we really check out, is that the right partner? Will
mm.
the other one, will the job really do really good? Yeah, will that be successful? And then you do something like that, and you can be sure that you did the same thing the other way around to someone else. Yeah, that you were the perpetrator in some way. And so the karma thing is that is something we know from Hinduism or Buddhism, and so and I do believe in that, but not to their extent. I do not think that it has to be even out. You have to be even in your heart with that. I personally, I lived a lot of lives, so I cannot go into any every life where I have been the perpetrator, the killer, the betrayer, or someone, and ask for forgiveness.
Mhm.
That would cost me much more years than I'm supposed to live in this
See,
incarnation.
one question came to mind in this case. So if life is like a play, and I mean, not life, but in general, and our soul wants to experience everything in in one life, and wants to be a killer, another one wants to be the victim, and so on and so forth. So if that's the case, if it's just maybe perhaps it's a simulation, it's just like a video game at a higher level from a very advanced, say, species or whatever. So if that's the case, if it's a play and one just experience to experience the soulless experience, then why do we have to ask for forgiveness? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's a
The
play,
common,
you know?
yeah, the common thought is that we have to ask for forgiveness the other person, yeah, the partner in
Mm,
that contract. But we most of the people, it's really, I would say about 90% around, they forget that they have to forgive themselves. And
mm,
that's what forgiveness is about. Forgive yourself that you brought yourself into that situation in the first place. Yeah, if that's necessary. But in the end, it's always a contract. Someone said, "Will you?" It's like a marriage. Yeah, I do, and the other said, "I do too." So an agreement. And if you're not happy with that after, then you have to deal with it. Of course, and it's so much easier to ask someone else for forgiveness than to forgive yourself. That's the interesting part. And those people who really long for excuses from others, they also need to do some work, because the forgiveness is in themselves. There can be so many excuses and yeah, regret and everything. But if you do not forgive yourself
mm.
to having decided to become a victim or someone who was betrayed, yeah, in some way, then you will never find your peace. And on, maybe this Hawaiian ritual, this Ho'oponopono method, that is a good start. And does if that doesn't work, then there is some aspect you're not clear about, and then it will be good to have someone find out what that is, so you cannot find your peace. But really, this is why they practice this. You have to forgive yourself. Yeah, it's okay, and this is more a cultural thing that that we
Mm.
ask for forgiveness. And I bet this became popular with church. Yeah, so this is 2,000-year-old management practice. Yeah, so because you had to ask for forgiveness and pay, so the
That's the
church
thing. Have to pay. That's the
the
thing. Yeah.
church could finance their powers. And so
The
this is
lifestyle.
really, this
Yes.
became
Mhm.
popular and common. And even if you're not a religious person, if you're not a member of a church or so, this is around. This is like the air you breathe. And then you have to decide, do I want to follow that common opinion or not? Yeah, am I really guilty or not?
You know, s- bouncing back on that, from my readings and understanding is once our body expires and the body dies, the soul leaves the body, we go to the other side, so to speak. We are not we are not in a courtroom judged by God or angels. Actually, our spiritual guides come to us after a few days of, adjusting to that. Not few days, but after a while of adjusting, they start asking us questions, and it's up to us. We have to be our own judge of our actions because the soul is disconnected from the ego. So the ego can be, no, it's not my fault. It's he did it or she did it. No, but the soul is much more detached from that, very objective, very, impartial. So is this why that all of the spiritual books, not just spiritual, but when I've read all the books about, say, what's his name? I forgot the name, but the guys that have done written books on past lives and what happens after your body, you die and your soul, what happens to that? They all say the same thing. You're in a white room with a very loving spiritual guide, and all they do is they just you replay. You see in, I don't know, either in your mind's eye or you see in a screen, kind of a screens, all the major moments of your life, and you are the one to judge yourself to say, okay, did you do your job you're supposed to do? Did you learn the lesson you're supposed to do? Was that the right thing to do? They're not here to judge, to criticize, to belittle, none of that. They're here to help you look at what you did, your good and your bad, so that you can learn the lessons, come to the conclusion yourself. What are your thoughts on that?
I'm so happy how you describe all that, because that's exactly the way I see it. Yeah. So this is the white room, and if you wanna do a review on
That's it. Review
on
it.
your doings, and so then you are free to do so. Then there are your helpers. You could even ask someone else, someone you don't know, if that appears to be a good idea. But you can also say or decide, okay, I'm not ready for this, and I want to rest, and and that way it comes that when I do contacts to the hereafter, then it appears that after, say, a decade of after they died or they passed. So some parents or so, they do not really seem clear how they treated their kids or so. Yeah. And I say, yeah, okay. Someone did really not do any kind of review or so, but you don't have to. You're free. Yeah, if you have the idea that it makes you happy to stay like you are, same level, no development, then you are free to not develop. That sounds crazy, but yeah, sometimes it takes a little bit longer. And yeah, we are free to look back and ask ourselves questions. And if you want to heal, then we can also ask for help there on that divine level. Yeah. And then the help will be provided. If we don't want to, we don't do. And so I learned once that soul needs at least, or took at least 50 years of our years between two incarnations. So that in the last 50 years, that became a little different. But 50 years on Earth is nothing in the
Like a
spirit
blick,
world.
like this.
Yeah, it's really nothing. Yeah. And so if you're not a decisive soul and you say, yeah, I don't know where I want to go next, and then I will think about it tomorrow, that might be 2 decades here. so, so,
You know, speaking of that, there is a distinct dichotomy between what religions, and by religion, I mean all the major religions, whether it's Christianism, Judaism, or Islam, they all say the same thing. If you commit a lot of crime, you're awful people, you will go to hell and burn, you know? But,
yeah.
but spirituality tells you that, just as we talked earlier, that nobody is there in the afterlife to judge you. You look at your own life, you judge yourself. So,
Yeah.
speaking of that, let's take an extreme example. Say Hitler, for example. If you look at him from a religious perspective, he has got the most biggest VIP suit in hell. You know, if you know what I mean, he's burning in the biggest fire in hell. But if you look at the spirituality, if he's not being judged, but I also heard that people like, because there was a question that they asked in the book I read by Dr. Ryan Weiss and Robert Schwartz. If you're
Yeah.
familiar with
Okay.
those guys, they actually asked him about Hitler and people like him, like Genghis Khan and Stalin and Mao Zedong, all the big time criminals that did massive genocides in history. They said those guys, yes, you're not, on one hand, you're not judged, but those souls that have committed atrocious crimes, they are taken to a different place where they are in a kind of a re-education, not re-education, but to help them evolve with ascended masters to really help them, because the what is it, the ego, of course, is aware of all the atrocities they did, and they don't, some of them don't have any remorse, but the soul is completely horrified. But the soul agreed to that, because we come in this world, we have free choice, and they decided to go towards the path of evil. And then the soul is affected, but the soul wants to heal, wants to go into a cleansing, so to speak. I would love your thoughts on that for people that, first of all, what are your thoughts on that perspective? And what happens to people that commit atrocious crimes when they go to the once they die in this, when the body dies?
They go the same path, but they do not get any special treatments because they do atrocious crimes, okay, yeah, but then there were some million people committing to being the victim. So we cannot really say that one crime is bigger than the other. It's a crime. It's maybe more people involved, yeah, and so there are more witnesses. But is it for someone who let's say he kicks a dog and kills it in the end, is that a nicer crime or not? So this is difficult to say. Yeah. So they took the opportunity to lead people, and the others say, oh yeah, I want, please be my leader. Yeah. And so, and this is all the same as all these, what we call cults. Yeah. So they want to follow, and it's their need to experience to be really abused. And from the spiritual point of view, there's really no bigger crime than another crime. A crime is a crime, and even the word crime is something that does not really exist in spirituality. Yeah, this is also a contract, and I don't mean it to appease it, yeah, to say, okay, it's not really heavy and awful. I'm German, yeah, so I'm pretty much aware of that. Yeah. But it's so difficult to say this is not a crime, because I'm a human too, and I have the feeling that something is not wrong, and I do have to remind me, if someone steals my wallet, which happened, then it's really difficult to say, oh yes, I agreed that you now have my money. Yeah, this is difficult.
That was a
And
lesson for
then,
you to be more careful next time. Yeah, that's a lesson for you to
yeah,
learn.
of course. But then I what I do then, since I know about all of this, I really have to say, and then I touch my heart chakra, and I say, I forgive myself that I have put me into that situation in the first place. And I somehow decided, okay, this must happen now. And before I do not forgive myself, then it's possible that someone steals from me again. Yeah, because I want to experience to be stolen off, yeah, to or make investments that go wrong or so. It's also a decision. This is not fate or destiny or so. This is just a decision of my soul. Yeah? And
Yes.
unless you do not forgive yourself, then it might happen again. Unless you decide, okay, I want to experience that once. Yeah, but I learned from all my readings, past life readings, Akashic record readings, other readings, that the majority of the souls, we are very, very profound. We are not happy with only one time. Yeah, so we
The
want to make a
masochist.
profound experience. Yeah, I'm a serious soul, and I want to make a profound experience. And for most of us, it does not count when you say, okay, so 3 days of tremendous back pain or so
That's why
is a
you spent
profound experience.
so that's why you spent 8 lifetimes with a mother, for example.
Yeah, for example. Yeah, so that's the thing. So we really we this is something that so difficult to understand for us being here, human body and everything. And then there's our soul, nobody, and everything is okay for the soul. Yeah. And I want to make profound experiences. And I personally, I always say to people, yeah, but so if you ever really want to, then make the profound decision, or make the decision for profound experiences in happiness. Yeah, just a pretty island and palm trees and a cocktail for the next 3 incarnations.
Yeah.
That can, that's so due. Yeah, so that's overdue to experience that. And if you don't want an island and palm trees, then you can find another cozy place on the mainland somewhere. Yeah, so um, we love challenges. Our soul loves challenges, and so we take the decision for um, complex for unhealthy experiences, so to say. Yeah.
Wow. Beautiful. Well,
This meeting is being recorded.
all right. Wow. That was powerful. I love that. I love that. Now, another thing that I'm really curious, and I'm sure you as well, and most people are, is to learn more about these notions of soulmates and twin flames.
Yeah, thank you for mentioning that. This
Welcome.
is very popular at the moment. When you Google that, then there are thousands of articles on it. Can read that from psychics or Cosmopolitan. So yeah, everyone's interested in that because it's most people, they connect that with love. Yeah, so romantic relationships.
Mm,
And to me, that word twin flame, that only came up a few years ago, because that was not really popular in German language.
mm.
Yeah, and soulmate, yes, but twin flame, I did not really know before. So there's also a difference between the continents, I would say, or yeah, maybe Europe and other places or so. Um, and so I always say there's no clear definition of it. So the soulmates, I learned, these are souls you decided to meet again from time to time, part of your soul family. And once I heard that the soul family is about 60 souls that appear from time to time, maybe your best friend, or can also be your family, parents, siblings, or so, or people who appear as random connections, so to
You
say.
know,
Yeah,
speaking of
but
that, Cornelia, one thing I
yeah,
noticed is that your the souls that incarnate in a given lifetimes to play a major role in your life.
yeah,
They can be from different countries, different cultures, because I've had very influential people that from way different countries, way different religions, and so it doesn't have to be someone from the same culture, the same country, or the same religion that you're born with, right?
exactly. Yeah. So, and sometimes um, you only know them not in person. You say you have
Online, yes, I meant
yeah. In
online.
my childhood, it was a pen friend or so. Yeah, so that could be
Mm,
that. And then you have a time, a certain time together. You decided to support each other with that certain topic or so,
mm,
and then you split. The job is finished, and then you meet again. Yeah, so that is quite easy, so to say. But support must not necessarily be that this is a nice,
mm,
yeah, not just the sunny side. It can also be support you in being really annoying. Yeah.
mm.
So, but yeah, as we were talking about these challenges, the soul plans, so we need someone we know, So it's easier to commit into the situation. And then the popular thing with these and soulmates, when so you're on the same level, so to say, and that can also be a romantic relationship. Must not be, but it can be. And from a twin flame, this is so popular now. And even celebrities, and they claim that their current partner is their twin flame or so. And then all the time I read something like that, I think, are you really sure? Yeah. So twin flame, as far as I learned, is that the soul has to be awakened and on a really high level, ascended into a high enough level that it can split into two different bodies, so to say, when it comes to the next incarnation.
Yes.
And so you can say that these are two halves of the same soul. The other one is part of your soul. And there I have the first problem, because why would I ever share my soul with someone else? I don't know. So this concept is not really working for me personally.
No.
And then these two souls that are, they planned to be somewhere, and then they're longing their whole life to reunite. It's not clear that they meet. So, and if you meet their twin soul and the other one is not on the same awakening level as you are, and it's like a bird meeting a stone or so, then you can love that stone, but it will never turn into a perfect mate. So and that can be really, really difficult. So, and also the twin flame does not have to be someone we love romantically. It's a really close and soulful and deep connection. And these souls go through similar situations at the same time, as it's said. But when one is in Australia and you are in Sweden or so, and you don't know each other, then you can't feel that longing to meet the other. And then what do you do? So
Or you might be
really
having a longing to go to that country, and once you go to that country, then you meet that person.
and I don't know if there's any chance that you really, when you're looking for that soul, if you know that you are a twin flame and you have someone else who's part of your soul, if you can ever find out who that person is and where to find it. So that is really difficult. And I know some other settings where this feeling is there. It's not really a twin flame, but when you lost a sibling during the time in the womb, for example. And that can happen after 3 hours, or 3 weeks or 3 months, where you planned your life together as a twin, not a twin flame, but a real twin. And then only one child is born. And then these people, they are looking for that other sibling also their entire life. And this causes a lot of stress and a lot of habits and that feeling of emptiness. And I think that the twin flame thing is the same when you do not find it. So I'm really not, I checked it. I do not split my soul into 2 parts. So I'm really
Not
happy.
2 parts, 4 parts,
Yeah. But I know, and I had to do a lot of work on that. I know that I had a twin sister who decided not to come with me when I or we decided to being born. And I was looking for her for a long time. So yeah, and there's a deep feeling of loneliness and emptiness when you do not know. It is there, even if you know that you're really missing someone, but it's still there when you know you have it, and how to find that twin flame. And it's much easier to find the soul of the the soul of the lost twin. I do that in my work regularly with people, because there are really many people who came alone. You can see the birth rates of twins and birth rates of single born babies, but I would say the majority of the single born babies plan to come as two. Yeah, so because
Wow.
this is much more fun.
So
And
fascinating. So when two kids are born at the same time, like twins, could they be like part of the same soul, or they can be different souls?
in my experience, they're different souls. I never learned that they were the same soul, and then one of them, or both of them, decided, but the one who was born forgot. Yeah, that they decided to part ways, and you can ask that other soul to come. Yeah, so and I don't know if that's really possible with twin flame.
What
I
about the
never had that.
what
Yeah.
about the twins that are completely similar? They dress the same, they look the same, they almost have the same names, you know?
Yeah, they decided to live a life together as a support.
Mm.
Yeah, so um and it's so interesting, because I had friends who were twins once, and I knew them for, I would say, 20 years or so. There's really some deep connection, um unspoken. Yeah, so and in their case, and then we lost contact. Yeah. They were both boys, and then they happened to marry another twin couple, so girl twins. And that was the most
I
interesting thing
actually
I ever
met
knew.
when I was a kid growing up in France. We met another family, two families, two brothers married two sisters.
Yeah, it is, because there is another strong connection, and then they know when they're really close, then this is something they know and they live, they feel familiar, and so you really feel law of attraction. That is really, there you feel home. Yeah. Of course, soul contracts. Yeah, there
Wow.
are twins that decide to part and do something completely different. That's the not so convenient way. Yeah,
Mm.
but we are adventurous, and so on. Then you do that. Yeah, but that twin flame thing, it is, I would say, it's not necessarily a twin flame, even if it feels so. It can also be that you miss your lost sibling somehow, and it must not necessarily be the twin. And so when there are these little these tests in the women magazines or so, and you do you have a twin flame, and then you check the boxes, and so yeah, this could also be this could also go for a lost twin, a real person, so to say, yeah, that was with you in the womb. And so if people have the idea that that is a twin flame, it would be good to just double check, is that really the twin flame, yeah, or is that something else? So and it would be much easier, and life must not be really um, easy, yeah, because the twin flame, let's say there are two souls, yeah, who are the same, then you see yourself in the mirror all the time, but there is a part that is confused, yeah, and so, and if the other does something selfish or so, then you take that on you, you're not happy with that, yeah, but in the end it's you doing something selfish and you just see it there, and
Mm,
this can be the reason for a lot of trouble.
mm,
And um, then you are awakened and you have to question yourself all the time. This is so much more work when you have found your twin flame than when you're with someone else and you say, okay, that's his business or so, his unfinished business or her unfinished business or so, and then they have to do something to heal or so, and I'm not involved. But with the twin flame, it's always something about you yourself. Yeah, so in a much more um, uh, uh, yeah, always not a choice of topics you have together in a relationship. Yes,
wow.
it's always you, and then necessarily you have to do a lot of work on yourself, yeah,
Mhm.
and remember, if the other one is not as awakened as you, this can be a
Yes.
real problem, yeah, so
Yes.
handling this kind of connection is and really feel relaxed, and so this is almost impossible, I would say, yeah, and
Wow.
so when people feel this is a twin flame, then it might be something different, and I would always say it would be better for them it was not the twin flame but something else, because anything else is easier to handle than this. So I'm a really um, practical
Wow.
oriented person. Yeah. So
Listen, Cornelia, powerful. Love this. We definitely have to do another follow up to that. There's so many more questions I want to talk to you about. Karmic ties, trauma ties, and stuff like this. Well, let's do that for the next call because that's going to be we can do an entire show just on that. There's so much to talk.
yeah.
For now, let's wrap this up. If someone wants to connect with you, what's the best way to do so?
Um, yeah, I'm on Instagram. It's my name, Cornelia Helga Schulze, and I'm there as the soul whisperer. And yeah, write me an email. Look look on my website, corneliahelgaschulze.com. It's the same. So yeah, I write you back.
Sounds good. Awesome. I will put all of those in the show notes. Listen, Cornelia, always an amazing pleasure talking to you. Love talking to you. Absolutely fascinating and very much looking forward to the next one. In the meantime, I salute you. Keep shining your light. Keep blessing the world, your presence, your impact, your smile, your readings, and everything you do. Your joy, your happiness, and your gifts. You're a true gift yourself. Stay safe, stay awesome. God bless you, and talk to you very soon, my friend. Take care.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Bye bye.
Bye bye.